everybody, my name is TechReal, and tomorrow, Vudu releases the first 3 episodes of Blue's Clues and You, meaning that today is my last chance to talk about my final thoughts and hopes and predictions and questions about the show before I can see the actual full episodes to possibly confirm some of those hopes and thoughts and theories and predictions and questions and other things of that nature. Now, before I get too far into it, let me just say that while this video is coming out the day before the actual Vudu release, again, the actual videos about my thoughts of the actual full episodes and the reactions and such, actually talking about the full episodes once they're out, won't be coming out until November 11th, aka the TV premiere date. So yeah, there's going to be a bit of a gap between when I'm talking about my final thoughts and when I can actually talk about the show itself. So again, that's a little confusing. I know I mentioned it in the update video, but I felt like it was worth mentioning again, just so there's not any real confusion and for anyone who might have missed that video. Additionally, something to keep in note is the fact that some of the things I'll be talking about in this video, I've most likely talked about over the course of Blue's Clues news, so it might get a little tiny bit repetitive here and there for people who have seen every episode, which, if you have, you're amazing. But yeah, so it may get a little bit repetitive. I'm going to try to talk about things that I haven't really said about, even the things that I know I've talked about over the course of that series, if that made any sense at all. But yeah, I'm going to still try to, freshen up the things that I've already said and bring up, new points, or at least try to say it in a different way, because these are my final thoughts, even though they're things I've been saying for a while. It's confusing. I forget the things I say. It's a jumble. My mind, it rambles and then I forget everything, so sorry if I repeat some stuff that I've said in past videos. It's just, these are the things I'm wondering before the show comes out. Speaking of, let's get on to my thoughts. First off, I have a prediction, and probably quite an obvious one at that. My prediction being that the first 3 episodes that we will be getting from the Vudu release will be Snack Time, aka Meet Josh, which is of course going to be the first one because, friggin' it's the first one. No real reason, it's just the first episode. We've established this. And the other 2 episodes will be Magenta Comes Over and Blue's Birthday, since these are the only 3 episodes overall that we've gotten clips from over the course of all the videos and the news and the promos and such. I will say though, even though it's a pretty strong prediction or theory? Is it a theory? What's the difference between a prediction and a theory? I don't know. Anyways. Even though it's a pretty strong prediction, given the fact that we've only gotten footage from these 3 episodes, and we know 3 episodes will be coming out, so it makes sense for these 3 episodes to be the 3 episodes, there's still a chance that at least Magenta Comes Over and Blue's Birthday might not be those 2. It's unlikely, but there's a chance that these 2 episodes have only been getting as many clips as we have been, because they're remakes of classic episodes, so maybe, just maybe, we're gonna get other episodes in their place, and they were just, advertising the most notable episodes from the original series that they've been remaking. So, it's unlikely. It's most likely gonna be these 3 episodes. I couldn't imagine them switching it out. It'd be pretty weird, to be completely honest, just based on how much we've gotten from these 3 episodes. For them not to be the ones that we're gonna get first, it wouldn't really make much sense, because at least then you could say we've been showing all the clips because those are going to be the first 3 episodes to release, those are the preview episodes, so whatever. If not, then it's just random spoilers from random points in the series, so who knows? I mean, not really spoilers, because we know how it goes based on the fact that they are remakes, but you get my point. The only other thought about this prediction is the fact that I think that the order it's of course going to start with the first episode, because it's, the first episode. And I think Magenta Comes Over will be second, and Blue's Birthday will come third, because we know that Magenta is going to be at Blue's Birthday, so showing her in Blue's Birthday, and then also showing her returning and making a big deal out of her coming over, seems like it'd be a weird mix. Although, come to think of it, at the end of Snack Time, in that one clip, Magenta was also there, so why is it a big deal that Magenta's coming over? I guess because it's a playdate thing? I don't know, I guess in the original series it just felt like a big thing because it was the first time she had ever come over, at least on screen, so now it feels like it's weird because, we know she's been there, so why is it a big thing? But I guess it's like a playdate thing, so it's like, oh yay, excited she's coming over today for a playdate, as opposed to excited she's coming over in general, so yeah, that's the end of that prediction. Yeah, moving on to my hopes for the show. Hope number one, which is really a big hope for me at this point because I'm actually getting a little bit nervous that it might not be a thing. I'm hoping that skidoos are not going to be limited to just the yellow picture frame in the living room. You see, people have been sort of theorizing that it might be based on the fact that the only skidoos we've gotten through all the clips at this point have all been through the yellow picture frame in all 3 of the episodes. In Meet Josh, they skidoo in the picture frame to get to the farm. In Magenta Comes Over, they skidoo to the picture frame to get to the park. And in Blue's Birthday, they skidoo in the picture frame to get to the present store. It's all been skidoos to the yellow frame. And some people are thinking that maybe that means they're only going to limit it to the yellow frame. And I am hoping and I am praying that it won't be the case. Because while it wouldn't really matter too much technically if it was just the frame, it takes a lot of creativity out of the show if they did. Because the whole charm of skidooing, a lot of the time was skidooing into these random objects, skidooing into a game, skidooing into the computer, skidooing, into a picture or a painting or some weird crafty location like a recycle town, which was like a diorama. It was all so creative, and seeing them jump into all these random things was really cool to see. And then there was the added bonus that sometimes, if it was a specific object, you would skidoo to that place, and then what you skidoo out of is also that object that's themed to look like the house and stuff, or like the room that you came from. It's brilliant. It's really creative, and it would suck if that was taken away in favor of just the yellow frame, even though that's, a common skidoo location. So I'm really hoping they don't just limit it to the frame. I'm also hoping that they don't just limit it to real-life locations, or I guess rather like connected, realistic locations, because like I mentioned in, I believe it was the last Blue's Clues news, or the one before it, so far they've skidooed to the farm, the present store, and the park, all places that we know are in their world, because we know the present store is in their neighborhood, we know that the farm is near the park, and Shovel and Pail were just at the park, so it's all connected, and most likely in the real world so far, which is a little kind of boring in a sense. Because again, it takes away from that interesting creativity of these weird locations and all the different styles and things you can do in those locations, other than, if they were just to be realistic places in their world. And that's not even to say that the places we've been so far are boring. I mean, maybe slight, outside of the park, because it was just kind of a park, but the farm was nice, it was visually interesting, and the present store is really cool, so it's not like these are bad locations, it's just that it would be nice to see all the other weird locations they could go if they skidooed into things that led them to not the normal real world. So, hoping for that. Next from that, I just hope that they fix Mailbox and his little disappearing and reappearing act in the window, because I just don't like it. I don't want to sound like I'm mad at Blue's Clues and the creators right now, but that is just very upsetting to see Mailbox, on a post on the ground, just suddenly disappear and reappear in windows between shots. It's just strange. You need to choose a lane, because it's just very, I can see it so well. It's so noticeable. And I don't know what to think of it. It's just, I'm hoping they fix it. So, yep, please do. Another hope I have is that they're going to be, this probably isn't going to happen within the first few episodes. It's probably not going to happen in any of the episodes that I'm going to see over the course of the Vudu, which is just the first 3 episodes. I'm hoping they show some of the other characters sometime soon. I know a lot of people have been talking about this. God knows I've had a lot of comments come my way saying, "Where's Periwinkle? Where is he? I see his house. Show him!" Yes, I know. We all want Periwinkle. This is what I'm hoping for. Not even just because I really want to see what he looks like and I like Periwinkle, but so that everyone can shut up about him. I'm tired of it. I'm not even mad. I understand, but God, if I hear one more person say it, I'm gonna explode everywhere. So stop it. Anyways, hoping that happens. And, the other cast. I want to see what all the other characters, like, I want to see Orange Kitten and, Purple Kangaroo and other characters that I can't remember off the top of my head. But, them. It'd be nice. Again, I don't think it's going to happen in these first 3 episodes. We might need to wait a few for that to happen, but, it's something to look out for. It's something to look forward to. So, yeah. My last specific hope is that I'm hoping, there is some evidence towards this, and it's sort of a theory at this point for me at least. I'm hoping that Steve and Joe are going to be called by Josh multiple times throughout the episode of Meet Josh, his first episode, so they can walk him through the first game of Blue's Clues. It'd be really great. I want it. I want it because nostalgia. Gimme. Let me go into a bit of detail though, instead of just saying gimme it. As I know, I stated in, again, I think it was the last episode of Blue's Clues News, it would be really nice to see a sort of parallel to when Joe came in to the show, and he was walked through the game by Steve, and even though they won't actually be there with him, the call does well enough on its own, especially now that in the theme song that they did with him, they just show up in these little boxes, so it's not like they're always, like, stuck on the screen of the phone, which would obviously get a little bit annoying, not only for us, but it would be annoying to film that, I can only imagine. But it would be nice to see them mimic that sort of, like, Joe gets a clue vibe, and have them, constantly being called and pulled up throughout the episode, so that, Josh can get little pieces of advice. Because it'd be nice, and it'd be a nice nostalgia blast. We get to walk through with some, familiar people, other than Josh himself, since we still need to get used to him. Which, I say, even though I really, really love Josh, and, I'm already pretty used to him at this point with all the clips. But, it'd be nice for first-time viewers to, watch that and really get that old, original show vibe to carry them through the first episode. And again, nostalgia. I want more Steve. I need all the Steve that you're willing to give me, Blue's Clues New. Have him appear more. Have him have a whole episode where he's a detective and we have to solve his mystery with him. Yeah, I'm still on that one. I'm still on the Detective Steve vibe. I'm not gonna drop it anytime soon. Anyways, I'm gonna get on to more, inquisitive question stuff next and stop just whining my requests. So, let's do that. So these are just going to be my questions about, like, what will happen here, what will happen there. I don't have any answers yet. I'm hoping these will actually be answered by the first 3 episodes, or at least by the series as a whole. Some of these are a bit more, like, for the whole series, and some of these are based on the actual episodes themselves. But yeah, so these are my questions for the show, before actually seeing the show. Question 1. In these 3 episodes, are we going to be getting something that is not an email during mail time? I asked this partially because Josh in the first episode, in the first mail time, mentions that he likes getting emails and letters and packages, and, not just emails, meaning we are going to be getting not only emails, and also the fact that we know that we should be getting letters based on the letter that we found in Josh's room in that one Instagram picture from way back when. So, it's more than likely that he's not just going to be getting emails. So, the question is, in these 3 episodes, will he get something that isn't an email? There is a chance that he might in Magenta Comes Over, because in the original Magenta Comes Over, Steve gets a package, which is the camera, which is the 3rd clue. So the question is, will this be replicated in the actual episode, or will he find it somewhere else, or will it be like, there might be a clue on, like, a phone camera app because of, the notebook phone, and maybe that's going to be the camera they use? Who knows? Maybe they'll take selfies. Oh god, why did I just pose that thought? That's, like, actually a possibility, and that disgusts me. But, yeah, I guess the question is, will they replicate the first episode in that way, and actually have him get a package? And my next question, building off of this first question, is, will there be a difference between emails and letters? Because we know that we should be getting letters. What is going to be the difference? Because it seems like emails now have replaced letters in this sort of video format way. So what are letters going to actually be now, since that's what they used to be? Will they just be the same kind of thing? Or is it going to be, like, an actual written letter, or is this going to be more of a method to deliver like paper clues to Josh, over the course of different episodes? Will letters mainly be for like a picture for a clue as opposed to actually being what they used to be, since the emails sort of take that, whole thing over? I'm leaning towards that idea because I feel like anything else, like again, if it were just like a video like the original letters, then why would it be a letter and not an email? And why would they introduce emails at all if they were just going to have both of them be that same thing? So it's most likely going to be a delivery mechanism for clues, or I don't really know what else it could be other than that. I guess we'll have to wait and see. My next big question is for my girl, Side Table Drawer. Will she keep her role as the holder of the notebook post episode 1, because we know in episode 1 she doesn't hold the notebook because Josh pulls it out of his pocket, introducing it to us for the first time. So in episodes 2 and 3, will she be holding the notebook? I'm really leaning towards yes, because otherwise she wouldn't really have anything to do. She's kind of made to be a drawer and also a table. But they've already taken her phone away, so taking her holding of the notebook away at this point would be very, very cruel. So I feel like it's most likely going to be the case that she holds it. And otherwise, if she doesn't, what's she going to do in the show? What would her role be from that point on? For that, my only theory would be that she would just sort of be one of those characters that, is part of the little side quests. Like Shovel and Pail and Tickety and Slippery. She'd just be one of the characters that you do activities with. Which would definitely be a little bit of a change up, but it wouldn't be bad at all. That would work. But I still would really prefer her to stay in her original role, because that's just a part of the show. I feel like that'd be a weird thing to change, even though she doesn't technically, it makes a little less sense for her to hold the notebook now, considering that it's also a cell phone, which you would want to keep on you at most times. So, we're just gonna have to hope for the best for Side Table and hope she isn't out of a job. And hope that even if that is the case, she will at least have something to do. I hope. Because I like Side Table. She's a good character, hoping. Next up, will they at all explain the loss of Magenta's glasses? This is one of those continuity issues that's bugging me a bit, because she has glasses. This isn't even just one weird little thing they changed. There was a whole episode where they established the fact that she was getting glasses. We spent an entire original episode explaining the fact that she has glasses, giving her these glasses, taking her through this whole journey, and now they're gone, which just seems so odd. Why would they do that? Do they have a reason other than just the fact that they wanted to? Is it a design thing, or do they actually have a story to go along with it? Or is there going to be something that explains that away? And if so, will it happen in the first 3 episodes? Who knows? Maybe she has contacts. Maybe she got eye surgery. I doubt both of them, but we'll have to see, because it's just... I know it's bugging a lot of people too, because it's just one of those things. And speaking of things that are bugging people relating to continuity, let's talk about my final question and final thought relating to Blue's Clues New before watching the first 3 episodes. What are they gonna do about Turquoise? Yep, I had to end this one off with a big question. What are they gonna do about this boy? There's so much wrong with his return to the show, her return to the show. I always forget. Sorry, I don't usually think about the genders of fictional turtles. It gets confusing. Anyways, her return is very confusing because she's being given as a gift again, based on what we know, which makes no sense, because Blue already owns Turquoise. Why would she need to get Turquoise again? This currently stands as the biggest threat to full continuity to, this show, from this show to the original. Because we know it's a continuation. Because we've seen Steve and Joe. We know they exist, and we know that they used to live in this house based on the way they've talked about, us helping them over time. So we know that this is a continuation. We've seen Cinnamon and Paprika age. We know that it's continuing. We know that this is further down the timeline. So What are they doing with Turquoise being here and being given to her again? It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. And I'm scared because I really don't want them to mess up this badly. And I'd like to hope that they have a real reason for this. It's just so concerning because I can't think of what that reason would be other than, again, if original Turquoise kicked the bucket and that this is the replacement turtle, which would be really, really sad. Just imagine an exchange at the present store before we know the answer, where Josh looks at a turtle and says, "Oh my gosh, that looks just like Turquoise." And Joe says, "Yeah, it does. Man, Blue was really sad when she passed away." Like, how sad would it be that the one death in this show is Turquoise? I mean, I guess better than any other character, but aw, poor Turquoise if that's the case. And again, if it's not the case, and if it's not that Turquoise is dead, and if this isn't Turquoise, and this is just sort of like a friend for Turquoise, then why is it the same exact color as Turquoise? In a perfect world for me, this turtle would be magenta colored, so that Turquoise and this new magenta turtle would be like blue and magenta. It'd be perfect. They could even no. I was gonna say that magenta could have given it to her, but then that wouldn't have made sense because we're trying to play Blue's Clues to figure out what we're getting her. But yeah, it would at least make that dynamic of okay, here's a new turtle that we're getting in addition to your current turtle that's, different. Otherwise, how are we going to tell the two turquoises apart? We're going to have paint one of their spots a different color. I don't know. We just all need to put together our fandom power and to just hope that there's a legitimate reason for why Turquoise is being given to Blue again. What if all of this just turns out to be that that we're not getting Turquoise, she's getting Turquoise, we're getting Turquoise a new cage or a new tank, and it's the biggest troll of all time that our gift to Blue is not actually Turquoise, but it's a new tank for Turquoise, and that they've just had us reeling for all this time about continuity, and that's the reason. I'd break. I would storm in Nickelodeon Studios, find the Nick Jr. division, and cause a riot. I mean, not really. I'd probably just sit here and complain about it online. But, I'd want to do the other thing. If I had the, ability to. But yeah, I'm just hoping that they have a reason. That'd be great. Please. I'm believing in you, Angela. Just please. But yeah, that is about all of my final thoughts regarding Blue's Clues and You that I'm putting out there before the show comes out, or at least the first 3 episodes do through Vudu. Again, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to wait and see what my actual thoughts are about the full episodes until the actual show premieres, because that's how I choose to do it. So sorry that there's a 46-day gap between my final thoughts and the actual, thoughts of the show and the review and the reaction and such. So, my apologies. But as for now, I'm really excited. I'm very ready to see this show, and just, I don't know. I don't really know what to say from here. I guess I'm just really curious, and I'm ready to pick these episodes apart. And hopefully, in a good way. That'd be great. I don't want to have to talk about Turquoise and this continuity issue in a bad light once I see Blue's birthday. Because I'm going to have some words if it is just Turquoise again. So you better paint that turtle a different color or kill the original. Otherwise, this boy is going to be real mad. But yes, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are as ready to see this show as I am. And I will see you guys in the next video, which unfortunately is not going to be my thoughts as of yet. Sorry. Bye!